The Trojan War. Zeus, king of the gods, gathered all the gods and goddesses to celebrate the wedding of Thetis, a sea nymph, to Peleus, king of Thessaly, all except one, Eris, the goddess of disagreements. Eris caused arguments and fights wherever she went. The gods did not want her to ruin the happy occasion, so she did not receive an invitation. On the day of the wedding, as all the gods left Olympus for Earth, Eris realized she was the only one who had not been invited, so she flew to the garden of the Hesperides and plucked a golden apple from one of the trees. Then she showed up to the wedding feast to offer the golden apple as a gift, but her gift had a catch. It could only go to the most beautiful goddess. 3 goddesses said that the apple belonged to them: Aphrodite, Hera, and Athena. They asked Zeus to judge their beauty, but Zeus refused. Athena was his daughter, and Hera was his wife. He claimed he could not choose between the 3. Zeus instead turned to a mortal man, the Trojan prince Paris, who was known to the gods as a fair judge. So the goddesses flew down to earth, where Paris was hunting on the slopes of Mount Ida. When they appeared to him, he was fearful, for few mortals looked upon the gods and lived. But they calmed him, claiming only to want him to judge who the most beautiful goddess was. Each goddess believed she was the most beautiful, and offered gifts to Paris in exchange for choosing them. White-armed Hera, queen of heaven, offered Paris dominion over all kingdoms on earth. Bright-eyed Athena, goddess of war and wisdom, offered to make Paris the greatest warrior and the wisest of all mortal men. Finally, laughter-loving Aphrodite, goddess of love, offered to give Paris the love of the most beautiful mortal woman. Paris chose Aphrodite, and so the goddess gave him the love of Queen Helen of Sparta, wife of Menelaus. Helen, daughter of Zeus and Leda, had been married to King Menelaus for many years, but when Paris visited the couple at their court in Sparta, Helen instantly fell in love with him, just as Aphrodite had promised. In secret, the lovers snuck away one night, sailing to Troy to marry. Enraged at the loss of his wife, Menelaus went to his brother Agamemnon, a powerful Greek king. Agamemnon vowed to help his brother get Helen back and raised armies from all over Greece to sail to Troy. When the Greeks arrived in Troy, they found the great gates of the walled city closed to them. Built by the gods Poseidon and Apollo, they had no hope of breaking down the walls. So they met their enemies on the plains of Troy in sight of the walls, and fought day after day, year after year. Many great warriors fought at Troy, but the greatest of all was swift-footed Achilles, son of Peleus and Thetis. His rage and his divine blood made him a terror on the battlefield. Only one warrior came close to matching him in skill: Hector, prince of Troy and brother of Paris. Hector was one of the Trojan king Priam's many sons, but he was the best warrior and a natural leader. To many Trojans he was their one hope of winning the great war against the Greeks. But Hector made a fatal mistake. When he led an attack on the Greek ships at the beach, he killed Achilles' cousin, Patroclus, thinking it was Achilles. Patroclus had donned Achilles' armor to rally the troops, and Hector did not realize who it was until it was too late. The death of his cousin ignited a rage within Achilles that not even the gods could hold back. He rode to the walls of Troy and demanded Hector face him in single combat. Although Hector fought bravely, he was no match for lion-hearted Achilles. When Hector died, all hope for the Trojans died with him. The fate of Troy had already been decided by Zeus. The city would fall, and the Greeks would be victorious. Odysseus, the great tactician, was the one who brought the war to an end after 10 long years of fighting. He designed and built a large wooden horse for the Greek soldiers to hide in. Then the Greeks left the Trojan beach, pretending to return home and leaving the wooden horse as an offering to the gods for safe passage. The Trojans took this horse into their city and celebrated their victory over the Greeks. But it was not a true victory. In the middle of the night, the Greeks within the horse snuck out and opened the gates for the rest of the army. Troy was sacked and burned to the ground as revenge for all the deaths the Greeks had suffered. Illustrated by Miriam Murabit. The text of this myth was adapted by Carrie Slager for the Museum of Antiquities. The following sources were used as reference.